So today we're actually going to watch a video about something that happened in the school, and it's a little bit disturbing. All right, just know it's a little crazy what's happening. So we're just gonna go right to this video, and then I'll give my thoughts on it as we go.
News now this afternoon, we're following developments at Whitney Young High School, a classroom controversy.
Yeah, some are upset over reports that a teacher strung up an African-American doll in his room. Charlie Wojciechowski gets reaction from students today.
It is one of Chicago's most prestigious public high schools. But now Whitney Young is dealing with a classroom controversy that has nothing to do with its academics or its athletics, but rather the behavior of two of its teachers. According to the school's principal, the incident was prompted by a teacher hanging a small, stuffed African-American football doll from a pull string of the projector screen. Pictures of the doll were circulated on social media. According to the principal, the teacher said he had found the doll in his room and hung it from the screen so the student who lost it would see it and claim it. According to a note that went home to parents, Principal Joyce Kenner said a colleague approached the teacher about the doll, and the conversation between the teachers became contentious. Kenner said our administrative team investigated the incident and spoke with the teachers. The incident, she says, has been reported to Chicago Public Schools. This afternoon, administrators held an assembly in the school's auditorium to address the matter.
Just because somebody was uncomfortable, with the way you did something, I feel like you should adjust it to make them feel comfortable.
It's pretty dramatic, it's just not something that usually happens out of school, so it's pretty new to us.
Do you think they're doing enough?
Not as of now, but I know they're implementing steps to make sure it's better in the future.
Chicago Public Schools confirm they are looking into the incident, but they say because this is a personnel matter, they cannot comment. We have also reached out to the Chicago Teachers Union. They have not gotten back to us. At Whitney Young Magnet High School, Charlie Wojciechowski, NBC5 News.
All right. So as you guys saw, there was a teacher who apparently there was a football, a stuffed doll or whatever football player, a black football player, and they were just like, you know what, whose thing is this? I don't know. Let me wrap a rope around it and string it from the ceiling or from my projector so that anyone could see it if it's theirs. Okay. Another teacher seen it, got upset, like, what the heck, yo? Okay, you seen that one, student said, if someone's uncomfortable with something, you need to adjust that and make it so that they're comfortable. And you have the other one that said, pretty much, what's the big deal? It's a bit dramatic. Now, the thing about this is this. People like to compare Black history and what we've gone through with a lot of other people's histories, and I don't necessarily agree with that 100%. And here's why. So with Black people, we have a history. We were enslaved people, okay? Before that, we were not, okay? So that's also something else that kind of irritates me a little bit, is because you have, with all these different movies, you have, and this kind of is going to go off in a little tangent a little bit, but you have these movies where, you got the 12 Years a Slave. Here's another slave movie. Here's another one. Sankofa was actually pretty good, though. But you have all these different slave movies. So it's like when you see Black people in the past, we're always seen as being tied up in bondage. We're always seen as being the lesser of. We're always seen as being not worthy enough to even be talking to a white person. Okay? So anything that we've ever had was always seen as just being less than. You have women who, they were denied pain medication because the doctor said, you're Black, you should be able to take it. That still happens to this day too. But you would have that, meanwhile their white counterparts would not have that. You have Black people, we were taken, put on boats. That the only difference between me, someone from Brazil, someone from England, is a boat ride. You know what I mean? So that's what that is. You had people who were taken from their families, and the American slavery was so, in my opinion, was worse than anywhere else. They really tried as hard as they could to break down people and break down the families. We still have a systematic system of oppression. That's what we still have. We still have heavy racism. I'm not saying that it's not everywhere else, but we have severe racism here. Okay, so there's a lot of little things that goes in there. We were raped, beaten, murdered. Okay, there was so many things that happened to black people. So many things. Okay, so with all that in mind, with that's what I'm thinking about when I read this, when I read the article, when I watch the video, for you to then know that, that black people have gone through so much, and a lot of it at the hands of white people. Just saying, I mean, these are facts, okay? So to know this and then put up what you call to be an innocent thing, you put a stuffed doll who happens to be black, happens to also be a football player, and you put like a noose around his neck. And I get it, it may seem like, oh man, you're blowing this out of proportion. Not really. And if you think that, that's perfectly fine. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But this is my opinion, and this is obviously my video. But, to know that this is what has happened, to know that this is the history that we've had. We have pictures where, we were getting lashes, and you would just watch people. It was a whole bunch of white people, though it's an audience for a lynching. They're like, yay, I can't wait to watch this. Ooh, I can't wait. So the kind of history that we have. We know what the history it is in America for black people, what we have experienced. And for you to just not even think that that was a problem, that's the problem, okay? I'm not saying you have to always go out of your way to make people feel good, because I know I don't always do that, and I'm not going to apologize for not doing that. But this, come on, what it looks like if a black person has a noose around their neck, if they're being lynched. You know what that symbolism is and how deeply integrated it is into American society. You knew that was a problem. You knew it. Even the high schoolers, they're like, I don't think that was a good idea. So you didn't think that was a good idea? Really? You didn't think that at all? People claim about, being, oh, you guys are so sensitive. You guys are so sensitive. Well, the thing is, we never have gotten a repayment. We never have gotten the privilege. We still are at a disadvantage, getting paid less, whether, you got the gender issue, which is completely different. But just racially, we're getting paid less, there's other things, different microaggressions. Black women experience that more, so there's a lot of different things. So for you to just look at it and it's simple as like, oh, here's a doll, for you to put it on there is like a real, like, screw you, I don't really care, because when I was in school, someone would lose whatever they lose, whether it's a scarf, whatever, whatever it is. And the teacher would have, because they had a chalkboard, whatnot, and they, you got the dry erase markers and you have the little ledge that you put it on. People will put it there. I've seen it many times. They never hung something up on a rope. They've always just put it right there, and they wrote like an arrow, said, is this yours? Pick it up, or whatever the case may be. There's other ways you could have done it. The fact that that was like your immediate, let me do that, is problematic, and that's why people are mad about it. That's why the school's like, yeah, I don't know, so that's my opinion on it. It's just, I'm not saying that we all have to be overly sensitive and, everyone's feelings are so precious and we can't hurt anyone. I'm not saying that at all, but the black people's history in America. And for you to do something like that, it's like it's like a slap in the face. Like, come on. Completely unnecessary. Let's just not do that. You could just put it over there on the ledge, and then we wouldn't even have the story right now. But it's just thinking about being a little bit more conscious in that way, especially for people who have such a deep history here. Okay? So that's how I feel about it. Those are my thoughts, those are my opinions, and until then.